And we are live. Hello,
Yes.
everyone. Good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Hello, and welcome to our live. I'm joined today by the beautiful Ruixi from Lost Plate. Hi, Ruixi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great, thanks. How are you?
Good. It's an early start for a cooking class, but we're doing really good.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm a little bit nervous that I'm going to mess this up, but it should be fun.
Should be fun.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and, of course, about Lost Plate?
Yes, of course. So I'm Ruixi from Chengdu, China. Now I'm actually at my home in Chengdu. So this is a perfect place to do this cooking class. I have everything from my home. Some of the ingredients actually, were cooked or made by my grandma. And I started Lost Plate about 7 years ago. In Xi'an, we started doing food tours. In Xi'an at the very beginning, and then we started our food tours in Chengdu, my hometown, and then me and my husband moved to Beijing, and then we moved to Shanghai. So we actually are, like just doing food tours. But obviously, because of COVID, we don't have as much customers. So now we decide to do something different, which is like, show people who's like probably stuck in the home or want to try something different during this period of time to do some cookings, to show something different for people.
I think it's really great that, like, at a time like this year, which is obviously really difficult for everybody, and obviously most of your business is because of tourists coming, that you found a way to pivot and do something that everybody can still enjoy at home. And hopefully people will enjoy it even more once they see how to cook it themselves as well.
Yeah, that's
So
super.
you started Lost Plate 7 years ago. What made you decide to start Lost Plate? And just a little bit before I start, like these food tours are amazing. We've been on all of the ones in Beijing. So if you are still in China and you're in Beijing, Chengdu, Xi'an, or Shanghai, then do a Lost Plate food tour because they're really, really great. So what made you decide to start Lost Plate?
Actually, at the very beginning, my husband moved to China, and he's American, and he doesn't really speak a lot of Chinese back then. It was really difficult for him to find any good spots in Xi'an. And I'm originally from Chengdu, so I moved to Xi'an with him, and I was like, I know nothing about the city, know nothing about food, and it was actually really difficult for me as a Chinese. Even I speak language, I know everything. It was impossible for me to find good places to eat because, like, everything you read on the internet, it was just like, oh, the top 10 places you have to go, and they're like kind of horrible because they have tourists all the time. They don't care. And so, like, later we decided, okay, um, I need to find the places, and those places are great. And those are the places that any tourist would never be able to go. Even as a Chinese tourist, you would never be able to find them or try them. And like family run small business, heading like little alleys and stuff like that, and like like being working on this one recipe for like generations. So that's really how we thought, okay, we should do this, give it a try, see how it goes, and somehow it worked out. So it was pretty exciting.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's very exciting. And I mean, I love food, as anybody who watches my videos is very well aware. And we've been living in Beijing for like a year or something, and the places that you took us to, we've never even been to before. So it was really awesome. And also, you guys have started doing some more trips around China as well since this year, right?
It's our new thing. Never thought we are gonna do multi-day tours as a food tour company, but it happened. Like because like right now, a lot of expats are just kind of stuck in China. You can't go anywhere, and like you have all the vacations you need to spend. So we're like, okay, like everyone who's in China already done our food tours, pretty much all of them. And they're like, what can we do? We have to get through this time. And like, I love traveling. Some of the places that we do the multi-day tours, I actually, like for example, Yunnan, that it's incredible place, beautiful, super cool. And we actually went there for a couple months before we started the first tour, just to really get to know the area, the history, especially the food. So it's still going to be like a multi-day tour. We will see a lot of cool stuff and do a lot of cool things, but obviously we focus a lot on food. Like every day we're going to go to the best restaurant of this area or try something completely different that you've never tried before in other regions of China. That's kind of our thing now, like doing multi-day tours.
I mean, that's definitely a good way to like hook the people who are still here in. Like, we'll go to this place and we'll eat lots of food for like 3 days. I mean, I would definitely be involved in that.
Because you're gonna work on like walking and sightseeing, and you're gonna be hungry, and so eating a lot of food it's good.
Yeah, and like I'm assuming you kind of go to all these local places that if you were traveling by yourself, like me and Jack, we like to travel by ourselves quite a lot. We do a lot of filming, but we never really, when we're on our own, because we don't speak that much Chinese, we never really get to the like really cool local things. And I think, doing a tour like this, it shows you the stuff that you would just never find on your own as a foreigner, because it is hard in China as a foreigner sometimes. You can't get at the information, right?
Yeah. Even for Chinese sometimes, and when they're like don't speak Mandarin and like in some remote area, I'll be like, what can you say that again? Like I didn't get it. I will ask them a couple times. Like, it's funny. Like my husband always laugh about it. It's like, how can you not understand them sometimes?
So you've been spending a lot of time in Yunnan, and that's where you're going to do one of the like multi-day tours. Is there anywhere else that you're thinking about doing them in China?
Yes. So we have actually a 4-day tours, including Chengdu, my hometown. Of course, you got to see pandas and eat a lot of really awesome food. Like that's what people come to Chengdu for, right? We're going to launch a new 4-day tours during Christmas for Xi'an. It's also a 4-day tours, really cool. Both our food tours will be included on this itinerary. It's like our original tours, number one choice in the world, food and drinks for TripAdvisor. And also we're actually going to go to visit a really cool cave from 200 years ago, where we will be able to stay in the cave for this trip. And like this awesome guy from this area, he actually renovated like 5 of the caves in there. So we'll take our guests stay overnight there, and then see the Taekwondo warriors. So this is going to be a really cool trip.
Wow, that sounds amazing. Well, I'm a little bit ashamed to say that we actually haven't been to Chengdu yet. We have been to Xi'an, but we haven't been to Chengdu yet. I know. We were trying to when we went to Chongqing recently, but we ended up going somewhere else. So it's still on the list. We definitely will be going soon because we wanted to go at the same time. I hear that Chongqing and Chengdu have this kind of little rivalry.
Like, don't mention Chongqing in front of me and be like, we're better. No, it's just the thing. Like, people between Chengdu and Chongqing always compare for everything. Like even GDP, like who cares really? Like as a normal person, you like I don't care. But like it's real. Like everyone competes on everything. On who has prettier girls? Who has best hot pot? What food is better? Region, and like how much money do you make? What's like? I'm like, oh. Yeah.
I think it's good to have a little bit of a rivalry. Where I'm from, back in the UK, I have a similar thing with like the two cities that are near each other. It's like Derby, and their football teams like hate each other, and like, no, I'm not from that place. I'm from this place. So yeah, yes. It's quite funny to see that just happens all over the world. Yeah, so obviously you're from Chengdu, and Sichuan cuisine is very different to other cuisines in China. So for the people who don't know a lot about Szechuan cuisine, can you please explain to them what to expect when you're eating and cooking Szechuan cuisine?
What to expect? Sorry.
Yeah, like what are the flavors and what makes it different to like other parts of China?
Actually, because like for most people be like, oh, Sichuan food is so spicy, and it's like, oh, too hot. It is one of the flavors very important for Sichuan cuisine, but it's actually a lot more than that. Like our food tours in Chengdu is really just emphasizing that like the food in Sichuan or Chengdu is not just about spicy. Like chili didn't come to China till 400 years ago. Like we didn't have it for 1,000 years. We survived, and everything still was very tasty and was good. And I think the key word for Sichuan cuisine is actually complex flavor. And you can make spicy and nummy, or spicy and like salty, or you can just like get rid of all the spiciness and you just can do a sweet sour, and or like sour with like little bit of like savory flavor, whatever. So you can do like lots of different combinations, or like three of the things added together, or like going back and forth, like all different kind, or like just nummy with sweetness. It's actually really good. Like a lot of like it's actually like a lots of different snacks or dishes they do completely differently with all the different combinations for the cuisines here. But obviously everyone loves spicy. Like even you're like a little chilled, like you will eat your meal with a little bit chili. That's true.
Yeah.
But it's not like I'm gonna burn you. Like you're gonna be like, oh my god, this is too crazy.
Yeah, I was a little bit worried when we went to Chongqing because everyone said it's so spicy, it's so spicy, it's so spicy. And I'm not a huge fan of spice. I don't mind spicy, but the numbing, I'm not such a big fan of. But honestly, it kind of changed my view on it a little bit. I think because all the dishes had it, and it just, but only used it really nice and sparingly, and it just really complemented it. So I think my views are changing. Maybe if I make it, I'll probably mess it up. But when we were there, it was really good.
Yeah. The thing is, like, not everyone wants to eat spicy food or nummy food, even in Chengdu or Sichuan, right? Like, for example, I don't actually take a lot of Sichuan peppercorns, the nummy flavor. I would just like, okay, add a little bit. And like in my family, some of my family members love chili and nummy, right? And it's just like, oh, okay, if Ruixi's around, let's just add less like Sichuan peppercorn, and like if you really want more, add on your portion later a little bit. It works. And like for cooking, really, it just like measurements like actually doesn't really exist in China. You grow up knowing from like, oh, add a little bit of salt, add a little bit more, and wait, how much is a little bit? And then my mom or my grandma's like, just a little bit. I'm like, is this enough? They're like, oh, it's too much. I'm like, okay, thanks. You just let me ruin my food in front of you. But like that's how you learn over time, like how much you need to add and how you add it. So everyone, even the same recipe in the family, will have different flavor just because we don't really use a recipe. We just like do it on our own experience. Yeah.
Yeah. To be honest, we hate following recipes. We're exactly the same. But what I did notice in your Mapo Tofu recipe, which made me very happy, was the amount of garlic that is going in. 8 cloves. Well done, guys. I was like, amazing. All these recipes that I read, like 2 cloves of garlic? What? No. 8 cloves, that's a great amount of garlic. We are big garlic fans, so that is awesome.
Our mouths, like the rest of the day today, is gonna smell great.
So whilst we're talking about what's going in, I am gonna grab my box. So guys, if you don't already know this, Let's Play are making these recipe boxes so you can get them in China and the US. Is that right, Ruixi?
Yes.
Right now. And the ingredients that we're going to use today, well, some of the ingredients that we're going to use today are from this recipe box, and also there's more recipes that you can make from the box, and I'm so excited. I'm going to grab it and show you. Look at this box of goodies that we got. So I don't even know where to put it. It's so big. And Ruixi can talk through what some of the stuff we're going to use today. Oh, I'm not doing very well at this. Hold on. So this is the box. It's got so many things in, and it was super nice to get all the stuff together because very bad shots of you there. Sorry, guys. So I have seen some of these ingredients in the shop, but I don't cook a lot of Chinese food because, I mean, why would I? The Chinese food's so good from everyone else. But if I do leave China, I want to know how to cook some Chinese food. And I want to know, like, how to use the ingredients. So I think this is really great because I would probably be a little bit like, what is all this stuff? So first we're going to start with the bags of spices that we have here.
Nice.
So you get this, so there's a thing, which is chilies, right?
Yes, chili flakes, chili powders.
Wow. That is a lot of chilies, and we're going to use a lot of chilies today, right?
So this one, you actually, like today, we actually will use that for our sauce to really emphasize the flavor, the fragrance of the smell. And it's also great for dan noodles because you use that to make the chili oil, which actually if you can see like my back, like that corner there, like my mom has like this jar. I can show you actually. Like this container jar of just, I can't spit it out too much, just chili oil.
Oh my god, that looks so good.
And everyone has this jar at home, and it keeps about, a while, 3 or 4 weeks, and you will just finish the whole jar. Like you can do with cooking, and you can do with dipping. You can make sauce with it, and like every single Sichuanese home will have this like special jar.
I think we have a chili jar as well, actually. We've got a chili oil jar, right?
Nice.
It's Shansi one though. We bought some chili oil. Yeah, we've got one too. It's actually in an Indian jar right now, but it is chili oil inside. Yeah, Jack loves the chili, so we have a lot of that.
Nice. If you later look on our dan noodle recipe, there is going to be part of the recipe shows you how to make your own chili oil. So you can make it home with.
That sounds great. Yes. Well, yeah. Just before we go into it, you do get this like information leaflet that has all of it written on as well. But I'm going to get Ruixi to talk about it instead rather than me reading it out. So the next ingredient, which I've opened because we are using it today, which is probably one that you are most associated with Szechuan cooking, is the Szechuan pepper.
The whole Sichuan peppercorn. So like for people in the US, because the branding or the label is a little bit different. And in the US, it might call it the prickly ash, because like the spike, like the tree that grows Sichuan peppercorn has this little pointy, sharp, like kind of like a sticky point thing. Like you get hurt if you touch it, so that's why it's called prickly ash in the States. But like for Sichuan peppercorn, it's really a very important ingredient in China, from Sichuan, because it's literally called Sichuan peppercorn, right? It's one of the oldest ingredients that we start using in China, in Sichuan. And funny thing is, in Han Dynasty, which is like over 1,000 years ago, that's for the queen, like they will use Sichuan peppercorns powder to like decorate the outside the wall. It's only for the queen because we believe it's a very neutral but also a little bit heaty for your body if you put it on the wall, so it keeps your room warm. And also it also has a lot of little seeds. And the function in the Chinese medical terms is it's really good if you use them all the time, and therefore your body is very neutralized, and therefore it's easy for you to have babies.
Oh,
So
that's really interesting.
had it.
Actually, my friend, I don't know if you know Miriam in China, she's just released a soap which has Szechuan peppers in as well, because she says she's grown it from her garden, and she said it's really good for different parts of the body. It's used a lot in Chinese medicine and stuff. So that is very interesting. Well, this is the Szechuan pepper powder that you're talking about.
Powder.
Yes, I wasn't sure what it was at first, but. And this is the dish we're making today, right? This is Mapo Tofu.
Yes, we will use that also today. A lot of
lovely
today.
Lots of pepper. So we also have some more spices, which I don't think we're using today.
No, not today. It's cinnamon stick. We actually use that to cook the chili oil. When you fry the oil and add a little bit of cinnamon and star anise and all that, will make that oil like really frequent. It's really nice.
Nice. I'm not a big fan of cinnamon, so it smells quite pungent, but I'm sure it'll be really good in the oil. And this is more chilies, right?
More chilies, yeah. So for some of the dishes that you actually cook them for the coloring, also for a little bit like a smoky flavor out of it when you like fry it, but do not eat them. They're not for it. I mean, you can, but it's just like you're chewing some like dry leaves almost like. So
dry leaves. And the other packet of spice that we got is star anise, right?
Yes. I love star anise in lots of different functions. You can do like stir fry with them a little bit, but it's so good with like stews. So put like 3 or 4 of them in the stews. It's amazing.
Yeah. I've not actually cooked with them before, but I have seen them in dishes. What kind of dishes do you use these in then, apart from stews? Like what in the recipe box like dishes would we use this in?
If you stir fry dishes, you can do just like a pork stir fry with like some squash, or like if, because this flavor is quite strong, and if you're not adding like the chili paste, and this is like something that it brings you a different, like, you know, the star anise flavor into it, right? But it's really important marinating like meat or like stews, like potato stew with pork or ribs, that kind of stuff. So once you stir fry the meat, and then you put the star anise, put potatoes, and then you just do them for like 20 or 30 minutes, and then it will turn out really well.
Sounds great. So this is another spice as well. Well, 5 spices to be precise, right?
Yes.
Ooh, this
we often add in, again, like stews, but also stir fry. Like even you double cook pork or lots of like just like meat dishes, you add just a tiny bit of the 5 spice. 5 spice. Because if you add too much, somehow the flavor turns a little bit bitter. It's like, oh, it's nothing is good if you add too much of it, right? Like a little bit, and it returns you a flavor, but not too much.
Yeah, it's one of the things that I've used before we came to China, because it's associated with Chinese cooking. Because I've actually cooked a lot of Chinese food at home. I mean, at least I thought it was. Then I came to China and realized it wasn't. But, you know, but that's one of the main ones. So we also have some dried noodles.
Yes.
For the dandan noodles. I'm super excited to make this.
We make
recipe.
it at home sometimes, just because it's easy and it takes no time and it's delicious. Every time I'm like, oh, this is so good! Can't believe we made this.
I was a little bit unsure. What is this? Because I couldn't figure it out.
It's a dry pot seasoning package. When you make, you can also use that for hot pots. It's
Uh-huh.
really a difficult process for you to make it on your own. So like life is easy now in China with all those packaging, and so it already pre-made a brick of like the seasonings, and it has like all the flavors, the oil you need. It's super straightforward. You just prepare your meat, your vegetables. You like have the oil, put that brick in, and then stir fry with meat, and then put your vegetables in and stir fry again. And then this is one super delicious like dry pot. It just turned out. So it's great.
That's amazing. Oh my God, I'm so excited now because we used to have dry pot quite a lot in Nanjing, and actually we haven't had it in Beijing at all. So now we can cook it ourselves, and
Yeah.
that's amazing. Very excited about that. We'll be enjoying that next week. So also we have little bottle of soy, nice.
Vinegar.
Which I mean everybody, yeah. So nice. So is that? Oh, that's vinegar. Oh my God, I'm so stupid.
Vinegar.
Yeah, that's the. Is it the
It's for the
gochujang?
compost chicken. We don't use that today, but for compost chicken, you will use like a little bit of sweet and
Oh, nice. We also have some sesame paste.
sesame paste. Yes, you can't miss that for your dandan. It's very important.
Sesame paste is literally like my favorite ingredient. I use it all the time in pretty much everything, and I love. I like here in Beijing that they dip the hot pot in the sesame paste because it's so good.
It's so fun. I just had a hot pot last night, and with one of my friends, she came to visit us from Beijing, right? And I was like, see, like in Chengdu, you cannot see any sesame pasting, any like hot pot restaurant. It's like people would be like, hey, they can't believe this. Like, how can you put sesame paste into your dipping sauce? Like I tell my kids before, and they're like, no, this is not happening. Like people just like, no. Like I don't know how this works. It's just like north and south difference. It's funny.
Yeah, because obviously I live here and that's just the normal here. So when we went to Chongqing recently, it was the same. It was just the sesame oil, and I was like, "Where's my sesame paste?" They were like, "No,
bring it your own."
I was like, "Okay then, sorry." And the last thing that we have in the box is this
chili
bean.
paste. Chili bean paste. So like for people like outside of Chengdu, you normally get this jar that is made in Xixian, Chengdu, like this region. But for normal families, actually you make it on your own. So my family actually makes it every year, and we also have a second jar. And normally the jar size is like huge, Like my grandma would buy like 500 pounds of chili, and then such a horrible process because like you have to wipe every single chili one by one to clean them. You can't put water, So it was like my hand is burning, and I would have to wipe every one of them, and then I dry them, and then make the sauce. And I will show you another jar. This is the jar.
Wow.
It's like a tiny jar. Like it's put on the counter so we can scoop it out easily. And normally for people's home, there's an area to storage this. It will be like probably 10 times bigger. It's just in your house. And then that's like a 1 year worth of chili bean.
Wow. So we're going to use this today. What other dishes use this paste? I mean, if you have it on the counter, I assume quite a lot.
Everything. You can literally just like any stir fry, oil, garlic, ginger, and then chili bean paste, and then just like stir fry, like everything, anything else. I like try.
That sounds amazing. Yeah, I'm going to start using this now then. Now we've gone through the box, which is amazing. I'm very excited to use all this. Before we start cooking, I just want to ask you one more question. Ruixi,
Yeah.
what's your favorite Szechuan dish?
um, Actually, it's the double cooked pork.
Oh,
We're not making it today, and this dish is super easy but super difficult to make. It's like something that I literally, I told everyone I will never be tired of if I eat it every single day of my life. I'd be like happy. It's something that people make at home all the time, like sometimes daily for like a period of time. Be like, oh, maybe we should try something different today. And be like, oh, what have we tried? Oh, the double cooked pork. Be like, oh, that's great. We're going for that. It's just like something like super local, and you can always get any restaurants in Sichuan. Like every single restaurant in Sichuan will always have this dish on the menu, and then if they don't, you'll be like, what is wrong with you? Like, how can you not have this?
well, I haven't tried it yet, so I will definitely add that to my list of things to try when we go to Chengdu.
Nice. Cool.
Okay, so I think I'm going to move this box out the way, and I think we should start cooking. Is everybody ready? Do you have your ingredients ready? If you're going to cook along with us, to give everyone a few minutes to get their stuff together. Then move this box out the way, and I am going to put my apron on to get ready. Oh, can't fit it on. There we go. Because I always make a mess, so
I make a mess.
I don't want to.
Okay, I'm gonna be on the video, so I'm gonna wear a black shirt so it doesn't see.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna just wear some comfy clothing today. Right, I'm gonna move this up so you can see my work area a bit. Here we go. Is that better? Does that look?
A little bit. A little bit that way.
Can't see the walk. Let's move it this way. Jack, there we go.
That's good.
Yeah?
Perfect.
I feel like you're TV now. Okay, great. Let's begin.
Nice. Do you have everything ready?
Yeah, I think I've got everything ready, yeah.
Nice. So let's get a pot out first. So make sure your pot is dry.
My pot is dry.
This pot. So a lot of people just have their pot and then pour oil in directly, right? And that's actually like not okay, because if there's any water in the pots and then you pour oil and then you heat it up and it just like splash over, and you might probably get hurt. So before you start cooking anything like Chinese food, you just make sure your pot is super dry, and actually let the fire burn the pot a little bit before I pour oil. Just make sure there's not even one drop of water.
Oh, okay. So heat it up for a bit first.
Yeah, just like 10 seconds, 20 seconds, to make sure there's like completely no water.
So now everyone's going to see how really nice my cooking is. Our hob's broken, so I have to use a lighter. Okay, there we go.
Like that. So you're so brave. Every single time I can't do that, I'm like, someone has to do that for me.
I'm used to it. It's been like a year. It's been broken, so okay. I think we're good.
Good.
Right. Okay.
Nice.
So should I pour my oil in?
Mm-hmm. And make sure that it's all dry, and then you can pour 3/4 of cup of cooking oil. And actually, I already poured my oil in here, so I have it good to go. And now I'm gonna turn my stove on.
Seems like
for the heating up the oil, it should be medium to a high fire. Because you wanted the oil to get hot quickly. So for for this, because like you don't really, a lot of people don't really know, oh, is my oil ready? And one thing you can do is like you put your hand above it to feel it. Another thing is actually for lots of oil, you can see the smoke, like little smoke coming out of it. And then you'll be like, oh, then that's ready. And once you find out your oil is very good to go, you'll be like, oh my God, I actually made it too hot. It's okay. You can just turn your fire off completely and let it like just chill for like 10 seconds. And then that's not a big deal.
Okay.
Yeah. So first thing we should prepare, which is the citron peppercorn, whole citron peppercorn.
Szechuan peppers. Yummy. Right, got them.
And is your oil getting hot?
Yeah, it's getting hot. I think it needs to be maybe a little bit hotter. It needs to be really hot, right?
We'll let it wait a little bit. It's not crazy hot. Just like if you feel the heat is coming out, and then you can see a little bit of smoke, and then we're good.
I can see some little bubbles happening.
Yes, and if the bubble's gone, then you're good to go.
I think it's hot enough then.
And then you can, like, if you're not sure, drop one there to see if it's like frying. If it's not really frying, let it wait a little bit. If it's frying, then you should pour the rest. And then turn your fire to be a little bit lower.
Turn the heat to lower?
A little bit lower.
Okay. Right, so I can pour all this in.
Yes.
Ooh!
And then you can like wave your pot a little bit to make sure that nothing gets sticky and it's evenly contribute around the pot. And you can see a lot more smoke is coming out.
Yeah, smoke's coming out. Is that right? That's good? That's a good thing?
Now we will need a strainer. If you don't have it, it's fine. You will just need to pick all the whole citron peppercorn out. And once you find out like it's really smoky and then your citron peppercorn is burning, turn your fire off. And then
so get the peppercorns out.
Yeah, turn your fire off.
Fire off. Peppercorns out. Okay, yeah. I don't have a stick.
You can just try to like scoop out all the citron peppercorn.
Okay. Oh.
And for me, the best thing to do is actually just have a bowl here, and then I will pour this oil out this way. And then all my citron peppercorn is here.
Oh, that's a good idea. I don't have a thing. And somebody asked Ruixi, how much Szechuan peppercorns do we put in?
So for this, it's actually one teaspoon of citron peppercorn. It's not a lot. All the instructions for the like a portion of everything, it's also on the website, on our website, with very detailed information. So I will from now on, I will make sure that I will tell everybody like what's the portion for each step and how much we should put before that.
There's also a link in the bio of the live that takes you straight to the recipe as well. So if you don't hear Ruixi properly, then you can get that recipe up so you know that you've got the right amount as well.
Yes.
Jack can post the link in the comment section as well. Would be great.
Okay.
Okay, I think I've got my peppercorns out. I did it a very different way to you, but I think it's they're all out.
It's out, so we're good. And so now it's your pork. It's 300 grams of your pork.
Do I need to switch my heat back on?
Not now. So we have the pork ready, and then we poured it in. And the heat is not very big, so it's good. And then now we turn the fire on again. And to medium and a little bit lower.
Well, I can't do that at the same time, so I have to switch my fire on first.
To make sure your pork is not overburned. So like make sure your fire is not too big.
Right, I've got it low. Right, so 300 grams of pork. I'm not sure how much pork this is. I just got a chunk from the shop, so. I think maybe it's a bit too much pork. Okay, so add your pork, everyone.
Yes.
Looking good. You know, I don't cook pork at home. Jack doesn't really eat pork, so I've never cooked pork before.
Really?
Yeah, he's not a big fan. Jack was vegetarian until he was about 16, 17. So he's very particular about the meat that he eats, and his whole family's vegetarian. So we actually we don't cook a lot of meat at home. So I never cook pork because he's not into it. So he'll just have to pick the tofu out of the pork.
Good to know. Yeah. Like for Chinese, like pork is like the central. Like I won't be able to live without pork, you know.
Right, it's so popular here in China.
I mean, like I did not eat any food or meat. I was in India for about half a month, traveling, also research for food tours. There's like not options for pork really, and it was just lamb and chicken most of the times. And I was just like, oh my god, I finally can go back home now. I can eat my pork.
Yeah, it's tough to avoid. It is very popular here. I like it. We just don't cook it very much, but it's hard when we go out sometimes because there's a lot of pork and there's not so much other things. So
it's like everyone freaked out that pork price, because like there was like a pork like pig flu in China like a year ago, so pork it's really expensive, and everyone's like,
yeah,
you believe? And before it was like 18 RMB, now it's 30, and then at one point it was like RMB. Everyone's like, oh my god, I can't afford my pork anymore. It was fun. So once your pork is a little bit like crunchy, and then we can turn that off, and then we will pour it out.
So it should be a little bit brown?
A little bit, not too much.
Like this? That's good?
Yeah, that's good. Mine probably a little bit wider than that, but that's okay.
So maybe a little bit longer?
No, you're good, because we're gonna put it back in to cook again.
So I'm gonna scoop my pork out now.
Yes.
So should I switch that off? And
yes, switch your fire off.
I think I need a bigger thing. Okay, scoop in my pork
and
out.
Just leave a little bit oil, the pork oil and the oil in the pot.
Oh, you make it look so easy, Ruixi. I'm not very good at
It's okay. We can take our time. So for the people who's already finished that, and now we're gonna use the chili bean paste. It's the portion is kind of up to you. It's about 4 to 6 tablespoons of the chili bean paste. Obviously, if you don't think you can handle a lot more chili, like call a little bit. It's totally fine. So while my pan is still kind of hot, I'm gonna put it in there. My fire is off right now, but now I'm gonna turn it back on. And your fire right now should be medium to low. You don't want to burn this chili bean paste, and so you're just gonna like nicely stirring around your pots and make it like a little bubble, and then just stir them for like 30 to 40 seconds.
Okay, so I just had a bit of a flying pork incident. So now I need to add my my bean paste, right?
Yes. Add your bean paste and then turn your fire to medium to low.
Medium to low. Oh my gosh, look at the color of this jar!
Yes, it's a lot.
So spicy.
Stage. So my fire is actually smaller than last you guys. So I will probably take a little bit longer than you.
Okay.
For the people who's already ready, and then your fire is already burning, and then you add the finely chopped garlic and ginger, which is like 4 slices of ginger and like the 8 cloves of garlic, as Kola was mentioning before. Lots of garlic.
8 cloves of garlic, yummy!
Yes. And now we're gonna add it in. Make sure your fire is not too big.
No, my fire is really low. So what should the bean paste? It should be mixed with the oil now, right?
For 30 to 40 seconds. Don't make sure it's not burning.
No, it's not burning.
Okay, good. And then add that. And then we will need 4 tablespoons of chili flakes.
So I'm gonna add my ginger and garlic, right?
Yes, add your ginger and garlic. And now you should add your 4 tablespoons of chili flakes into it.
Straight away, or do I want the garlic and ginger to cook for a little while?
Together, like right after, straight away.
Okay. Tablespoons of chili flakes. They're going in. Oh my gosh, this is the spiciest thing I've ever made.
You can smell this nice thing now.
It smells like a full stomach is what that smells like.
1 tablespoon of the peppercorn powder. Now I'm adding the peppercorn powder.
The peppercorn powder, yeah.
Yes, 1 tablespoon of peppercorn powder.
Okay.
And now
we're gonna need. Ooh.
Because mine is kind of burning, so I'm gonna add my chicken stock, my 2 cups of chicken stock in there.
So I don't have chicken stock, so I'm just gonna use water, right?
Yeah, water is fine.
How much do you put in of the
2 cups of the chicken stock or water.
Okay. Let's work this in.
And now what you do, I have a knife here and I have my tofu here. And if you have a cutting board, you can just cut your tofu to scoops. It's about 200 to 300. Oops, sorry. It's a little like the chili is getting stronger and stronger. Cutting your tofu is about 2 centimeter or 3 centimeter per scoop per scoop, and then you cut like sideways, and therefore, like you get 2 layers of them, like this.
I cut mine already.
Nice. I'm gonna put it in.
I think I might have a bit too much tofu.
That's okay. Put my there. And once you put the tofu in, and now you can also get your pork, and then put your pork in.
Okay, my tofu's going in. Oh, I'm scared it's gonna splash everywhere.
So when you're when you're putting your tofu in, like make sure it's like gentle and slowly. And when you're stirring this, like also make it gentle. Right, and because the tofu is really easy, you don't like shuffle like crazily. You just like push it from the side.
Okay, so add the pork straight away as well.
Yes.
Okay.
And now like the whole thing, the pork and the meat will the meat and the tofu will soak up all that sauce, the flavor.
Okay, I think I cut my tofu a bit too big. and gentle is not something that I would use to describe me in any way, so I really try my best.
It's okay. If it's a little bit bigger, that's totally fine. You know, it's still in the soup. That's all that matters. Now we just have to wait till this liquid here reduced to like a third.
Okay.
So we're just gonna wait for it, and then make sure you stir it once in a while, especially at the bottom. Make sure it's not like getting sticky or burned at the bottom.
And should it still be on a low heat?
Like medium to like big, large.
Okay, so maybe switch it up a little bit then.
Gas right now because my stove it's not very hot, but medium to big.
Yeah, I find it hard to control our stove. It's either like nothing or like loads.
So what we prepare by now, while it's boiling, have your 2 tablespoons of soy sauce and 1 tablespoon of sesame oil ready.
Right. I've got mine ready.
Nice.
I'm ready. I mean, it's looking good.
Nice.
Smells great.
Smells good too, right?
Yeah, I think I made these a bit too big though, so I'm just gonna chop a few whilst I.
Okay.
Mmm. It's like a very, very, very chilly-ish.
And then it's like bubbling like crazy.
Right, 10 a.m. Mapo Tofu. I like think my stomach might.
Okay, so my sauce or my liquid is reduced almost by a third now. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pour my soy sauce in, 2 tablespoons soy sauce, and 1 tablespoon of sesame oil. So I will pour that in.
What do you think about this? Can you see this? Ooh.
Yeah, that's good. You should pour it in.
Okay, pouring it in. Shall I do it in a nice? There we go.
And stir it a little bit. Make sure this is equally.
God, I love sesame oil.
You love everything about sesame.
I do. I love sesame. I think it's my favorite ingredient.
We should prepare our cornstarch with water.
Right.
Like the cornstarch is a little sticky at the bottom. Like stir it, like with your hand a little bit. It should be using cold water.
So
I'm gonna add,
I don't have cornstarch, so can I use like flour and water?
technically yes, but I personally haven't tried that before. So let's see how it works.
So how much cornstarch should I use, and then I could try and figure out the.
So cornstarch should be 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, and then like add a 4 tablespoon water in it.
Okay, let me just get a.
And so now I'm gonna pour it in. You don't need to pour them all once because like it depends on how much liquid you still have. And if you don't have much liquid anymore, you don't need that much because it really like gluten and make your soup sticky, right? And it like reduce the amount of liquid. So like for me, I actually have quite a lot of liquid left. I'm just gonna pour it all in.
Shit, I should be.
And now you can see like your thing, like Mapo Tofu should be really getting like a lot stickier now, and like the liquid is like really getting there.
I'm still making my cornstarch. So 2 tablespoons of cornstarch with how much water?
4 tablespoons water. I mean, just like pour some water in, and then stir it with your hand.
So it should be like a kind of paste.
Sorry?
Okay. Like a kind of paste?
Yes.
Should I pour more water, or
it should be sticky, but smooth at the same time. But let's try. Well, like, do you still have a lot of liquid in your Mapo Tofu?
Yeah, quite a bit.
Okay, so let's just try like pour it around and
Let's just
see.
go for it, right? See what happens. Okay, I'm pouring it in. Let's see. So just like a bit at a time.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, this is either going to work or not work at all. We'll find out, right?
Well, that would be a good thing for me to know too. Is this powder can work?
Should I just keep putting more in?
Yes, if it's not like getting sticky or your broth is not getting thick. Mine's down there. So what I'm gonna do, it's gonna be the final step of 2 steps. Some green onion for garnishing. I'm gonna just put it there. You can do that last step, like when you put out, like you have a bowl and then you get everything out too. But I just wanted to do it this way. And then also get your citron peppercorn for the last garnishing. Be careful.
I mean, it's getting a little bit thicker.
That's good.
It's looking still very watery though.
Good. It's pretty heavy, so I'm gonna just use both my hand to pour that out.
Okay, so I need to put a little bit more Szechuan pepper in, right?
For the last step, after you pour it out.
Oh.
Only for now, it's your green onion.
Oh well, I've already put mine in. Okay, and then the spring onions.
Yes.
Mine just looks
And then my Mapo Tofu is here. And now, like, this is like for dressing, sort of. Um, so that's why I didn't have like a bowl prepared. I just have this. And then you just sparkle on it. And it's really up to you how much you want to do that. You don't need to do a lot, or you do like a whole pile in the middle. There we go.
Well, I accidentally put mine in, so okay, let's.
Obi and
I
think, like before or after, it's all the same. Like the way people do this, it's really just for looking. Mapo Tofu. It's actually interesting because like this restaurant started in 1862. It was a guy who was like his family name is Chen, so it's like Chen's Mapo Tofu, but he actually died before this dish got famous, and it really was his wife, the widow, carried on and made it so successful in Chengdu. And her family name is actually not Chen, and her family name is actually Liu, and who made this super famous and successful. And she actually has freckles on her face, like little dots on her face, and that's why they call her Mapo. Ma is the with dots. Po means like older lady, like a lady with dots who made tofu. And so because it looks kind of like sparkled Sichuan peppercorn like powder on the dish, so that's why they like the last step is like put some of the Sichuan peppercorn powder on the top to fake the freckles.
It looks tasty. So Monique is asking, did I miss adding the fried pepper? We added Szechuan pepper towards the end, just then at the end, so you can add a little bit more to serve it with.
Yes.
And the chili pepper was when we added the paste, right?
Yes, chili pepper. We add the chili bean paste and the chili flakes, both when we're making the sauce.
Okay. Wow. So, how does everybody's tofu like?
Nice.
I mean, it kind of looks the same. I only took a little bit out. Most of mine is still in the pan because there's so much. How's everybody else done? I think it's time to give it a bit of a try and see what it's like. I think Ruixi may have won on that one. Who made it better? So yeah, I'm excited. I've had Mapo Tofu once before, I think. So let's give it a whirl and see what it's like. Ooh. I'm going to show you my really, really great. Jack is waiting anxiously. Jack's wearing a white t-shirt right now, which is definitely not a good color.
Nice.
Okay.
Make sure you don't burn yourself, because like we just take it out and it's like hot. Make sure. It's pretty good.
Really good.
Nummy and spicy at the same time.
You it like hits different parts of your tongue. Like, oh, there's this spicy bit, this numbing bit, and like lots of different flavors in once. Oh, that's so good. Okay, I'm gonna have another bit, and then I think we should get Jack to come around and try it.
Nice.
Okay, so Jack's gonna try it, everybody. Let me know what you think. Be careful. What do you think?
It's good.
It's good?
Yeah, delicious.
It's been good?
Good.
Yeah, good. How's everybody else's tasting? Have you tried it? Everyone who's cooking along, Michelle B, have you given it a go? I know you're cooking along with us. Very, very tasty. I'm excited. Yes, go cook Mapo Tofu now. Well, that was really fun. So we're going to wrap up soon. So if you guys have any questions, put some questions in the comments and we'll answer them before we go. But I'm actually surprised at how easy that was. Like, it was quite, I mean, obviously a little bit stressful, but just because we're live. But actually, it was like really simple. It's quite a simple dish. What about the other recipes in the box? Are they like kind of simple as well? Simple-ish?
Yeah, I think because like we don't want to go too crazy on the recipe, and like Chinese food is not like something everyone's familiar with. Like, oh, we're gonna take a couple hours, and so we just start with something simple but delicious for everyone to make, and even beginners or who's like actually done Chinese cooking before. It's all very accessible for everybody. And some of the dish probably will take a few more steps than this, but not too much. And like dry pot, like spicy paste with meat and that kind of stuff, it's like super easy. Like you really just have to dump a few things in there, and the flavors are really there because that package just made everything happen for you.
Well, I mean, because I always think it seems quite complicated because there's obviously lots that go into it, but actually, yeah, it was really good. Some people said it tastes good with pasta. Well, I could see that. I like pasta, so
nice.
I mean, he swears chicken. And Adrian says, "What's the next dish you're going to do?" Yeah, I mean, this went better than I expected, I've got to be honest. So if you guys want us to make another dish from the Szechuan box, then hit yes in the comments or leave us a comment, and maybe we can organize another cook-along, cooking one of the other dishes, because I've already got all the Szechuan ingredients, so it makes sense. Miriam says she's not tried it with pasta yet, but I mean, I could see that. To be honest, I love pasta. I could eat pasta with anything. Honestly, I could eat it with anything.
That's cool. Someone said they try with bread. Like people are so advanced with that. If I tell my parents that someone tried with like this,
a dip it with bread. I mean, I guess it's like quite oily, so you could soak it up. Nice. So Michelle B says that we should make dan dan noodles next time. Yeah, maybe we should. I would like to try the dan dan noodles. Sonia is saying if it's too hot, just drink cold water. I'm in Beijing right now, but Ruixi is in Chengdu.
Yes.
Because you guys haven't been back in Beijing for ages.
For a while.
Do you guys have any plans to come back?
We want to come back, but we're actually leaving 2 days later for Yunnan again for our Yunnan trip, like on Tuesday. So probably won't be back till next year.
Oh, well, maybe we'll see you again in the new year. Do you guys? I know you guys have plans for a Christmas and Western New Year trip. What about over the Spring Festival? Do you guys have any plans to do a trip then, or will you be going back and spending time with your family?
Yes. So we actually have a lot of people asking because we haven't published anything about Chinese New Year yet. A lot of expats have that free time, that period of time. They're like, "Oh, are you guys gonna do something?" We're like, "Yes, we will." We will actually do again the Yunnan trip. It's away from the crowds, lots of beautiful sceneries that you can see there. The weather is gonna be gorgeous. So we will keep doing our Shangri-La wine tasting trip, and also the Lijiang and Dali culinary trip, both of them.
So what's the weather like in February in that area? Then is it good? We're obviously looking into not being in Beijing because it's cold here.
Shangri-La will be a little bit colder because like the altitude is quite high. But you will see all the snow mountains, gorgeous, beautiful blue sky all the time. But we will drive back down to Lijiang through the valley, which where grows a lot of grapes. So we can do wine tasting there, and the weather will get slightly better when we like drive down. But Dali and Lijiang is supposed to be nice. Like it's gonna be still winter, but not too bad. Very comfortable.
That sounds so nice because obviously, usually, Spring Festival is a time where most foreigners leave China and most Chinese go back to their hometown.
Yeah.
But obviously, this year is going to be a little bit different because we're not going to be able to leave. So I imagine a lot of foreigners are looking at different alternatives. But the thing about Spring Festival, like I know, is that here in Beijing, like everything shuts down in Beijing.
Yeah.
So it's trying to find that mix of things that are going to still be open, weather that's nice, and also accessible that you can still get to, because obviously a lot of people go home, so places might not be open.
Yeah. So that's actually why we also want to choose Yunnan because everyone's there. Like they can't go even further. I mean, someone will go back to their village and stuff. But all the places we choose or restaurants we choose, they're actually just family, local running businesses, and so it should be like all there, and we're excited to see them during Chinese New Year.
That's amazing. Somebody is shopping now, and they just asked, is the correct chili bean sauce for this the Toban jam?
Yes, Douban, Doban, Jiang, Jiang.
Yeah.
Wow,
Good.
you know the Chinese name. That's pretty good.
I've been taking classes twice a week. Me and Jack have been doing Chinese classes, trying to get better because we put it off because we thought originally we're only going to be here for a year, so we just need enough to get by. And now as we're here for longer and longer, realize that obviously we need to know more Chinese. Jack is a lot better than I am, but we're trying our best to kind of fit it in on our lunch breaks at work because we're super busy because we work and we do the YouTube channel and we make videos, and so we're trying to fit it in. But yeah, it's going well. It's certainly helping me recognize other people speaking, but I'm still not very good at speaking.
You're good. As long as some people can understand you, that's all matters, right?
Well, I don't think people can understand me very well, but I'm trying, and I'm trying with to talk to people at work, and it's one of those things. It's a long, slow process, but it's worth it, right?
Yeah. Practice. It's just okay, I just want to speak Chinese, and don't speak English to me, and then over time you will get a lot better.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely, I think it's helpful when, I noticed a lot more when we were traveling. We recently went to Hunan and then we went to Chongqing, and it was good because not as many people speak English, so it forces you. Whereas here in Beijing, it's kind of easy. I work in an English language school; everybody speaks English, so it's easy to not. But I want to try more, so I think it's good to practice as much as you can.
Yeah. Now you should just go to a lot more remote area and just force you.
Yeah.
Later you'll come back with all the kind of dialogues no one can understand you.
Right, exactly. I mean, to be fair, it is hard as well because if you go to the more rural areas, then everybody has a more regional accent, which I guess it's the same in the UK. If you're the accent in London is so different to the accent in the Northeast, and so you're thinking, I think this is what they said, and then you try to reply, and they don't know what you say because you say it slightly differently. So it's one of those things that you have to overcome, right?
Yeah. That's I have heard a lot of stories about foreigners staying in this one little area and feel very confident. I'm gonna travel around China, and showed up in Beijing, couldn't even talk to the taxi driver. Okay, my 1 year trip reduced to 2 days. I'm gonna go back.
Yeah, exactly. Beijing's got a different accent, so I'm probably learning Beijing Mandarin with the R's and things like that because my teacher, she's from Beijing, so So let's have a look if we've got any comments. People are finding the ingredients great. Great job, guys. I'm really pleased that you like this. I was a little bit nervous, but I feel like it went better than I thought. And if you want the convenience of just, yeah, this is what I was going to say. If you want the convenience of all the ingredients in one place, then check out the Lost Plate box, the Szechuan box. There's a link in the bio that takes you straight there. If you're from the US or from China, you can get it delivered straight to your door. Unfortunately, you haven't got Europe yet. They're all asleep right now anyway, but hopefully you'll still be able to pick up some of the ingredients from like the Chinese supermarkets. Like we have loads of Chinese supermarkets. I'm sure that once you're out of lockdown in the UK, you can go to the Chinese supermarkets and pick up the ingredients and make this and other Szechuan dishes. So I think we should maybe let everybody get on with eating their Mapo Tofu and enjoying their morning. And like I said, if you enjoyed this, then please leave us a comment and, let us know what you want us to cook next. And maybe me and Ruixi will do another live together. Did you enjoy your first live experience, Ruixi?
It was great. It was like, oh my God, I don't know what to do, but it actually went very well. It was like I was really worried, and then I finally I was like, okay, it's just like normal cooking, like I cook at home. It's fine.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
You did a great job. I think it's very easy to follow along, and next time, I think if everyone has their ingredients ready, that was really helpful because I was like, okay, I can just pull this straight in. I think that's my problem is I faff about with getting my ingredients ready. But you've been doing some live, like some Zoom call cooking classes as well, right?
Yeah, we did a few ones before. It was actually very well as well, but like I think sometimes it was just hard for people to get certain ingredients. So like their final Mapo Tofu or whatever the dish might turn out slightly different from mine.
Yeah.
So I'll be like, okay, can check out our box. You have everything you want there.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, that makes it easier. If you've got everything in one box, then you can do it. And you guys are doing boxes for other regions as well, right? Are they ready or?
Yes. So we're actually making a Cambodia box. Recently, I'm making a lot of like Cambodia videos about like different dishes and stuff. It was super cool, like something different. Because we also have tours in Cambodia. So now that's why we're not doing food tours now there, and instead we're gonna do a Cambodia box. So that will be coming soon. We also have a Portland box in the US, and we're gonna have a baijiu cocktail box coming soon. So we'll make cocktails out of baijiu. The Chinese very strong liquor. Yeah, it'll be really cool. I'm excited.
Awesome. Well, guys, if you think that they should make a box from your region in China, then let Ruixi know, and then maybe they can look into some good recipes. I think it's a great idea. Like, I don't think people realize just how diverse Chinese cooking is. Like, I always say this on my videos. Like back in the UK, I thought I liked Chinese food, but actually I had no idea. And coming to China, there's just so many different tastes and like region-specific recipes, and it just blew my mind. So I think it's super interesting to be able to kind of learn all these things and use the right ingredients for it.
Yeah, we will do like within China. We will do a Yunnan box soon as well. To be like a lot of like cool different because like. This is a Han food, right? Then like nationality. There are gonna be like different nationality food that from the Yunnan box. That'd be like super cool.
Yeah, I love Yunnan food as well, so I'm looking forward to that one. Okay, guys, I think we will wrap it up there. I hope you all enjoyed this live cook along. Thank you very much to my guest Ruixi.
Appreciate it.
Go and follow Lost Plate as well, because you also have a YouTube channel and they have an Instagram account, which is really awesome, and they share amazing looking food from all of their tours. when China opens up, then definitely do a Lost Plate tour because they're amazing. And if you are in China right now, then check out their tours that they're doing around China as well because they're going to be really great. So thank you very much.
Yeah,
and
really.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.